Hi, my name is Jestoni and I'm a freelance graphic designer. In this class, you are going to learn how to create a mockup template from any images. I'm going to show you the simple steps on how to put your label, logo, or any design you have to any images you like to look like it was there or like it was printed there. I also provided the resources file so you can follow along with me. This is a step-by-step class and good for any levels. So if you want to learn how to create a mockup template or just want to show off your design but don't know how to put it to your t-shirt photo, this is the right class for you. So enroll now and let's get started. Hi and welcome, my name is Jestoni. First of all, thank you for enrolling in this class. For our first video of the class, you will learn the basic few things in creating a mockup template. The first thing is the Smart Object. Smart Object is a powerful tool when it comes to images, not only to photos but to any object inside the Adobe Photoshop. I will cover the few things about Smart Object that are related to our class, so it won't cause any confusion to other beginners. Smart Object preserves the quality of an image. In Photoshop, we work with pixels, so if you keep on transforming your image, you may lose its quality. So before making any adjustment, we convert our image into a Smart Object. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to drag this image to this document, and here I'm going to duplicate it, hold my Alt key and Shift key together. Alright, so we have two images here, and the other one I'm going to right click here, this one, right click and then select the convert to Smart Object. And now you can see this icon is like a document. It means it's a Smart Object. Okay, so Control T to transform tool, and then I'm going to make it smaller, scale it down, and then press enter or click this check icon. And now Control T again in your keyboard, and then I'm going to scale it up, hold my Shift key together and then drag it up, make it big, something like this, and then press enter, and then Control T again. Let me zoom out a little, and then I will go back. We'll make it in the the original size, like this. And then the other one, I will show you what will happen if not Smart Object, something like this. Okay, click the right layer, Control T in your keyboard, and then I'm going to scale it down, holding my Shift key like this, and then press enter again, Control T, and we're going to scale it up. You will see what will happen if it's not Smart Object. There's some squares in here, and now you can see it becomes blurred, you know. It's really it lost the quality of the image. So let's go back it here, let's make it the original size. And now we lost the quality. It becomes blurred. So that's the reason why we turn our image into Smart Object, to make it to preserve its quality. Okay, so I'm going to delete that. Another good thing about Smart Object is we can replace the contents of it by double clicking the thumbnail in a layer. This is ideal if you want to sell your design or share it with other people. They can easily edit the source file, either delete it or add new design. Let me show you what I'm talking. Now with this image, I'm going to convert it into a Smart Object. Now you can see there's an icon here. It looks like a document icon. Double click that and you will come to this window. Now you can hide it or you can add another design. Let's say a custom shape tool. Let's get that and find a preset icon here. Maybe this the dog footprint. gonna make it here, and then let's change the color to something like this. And now let's close it so we can save it, or Control S in your keyboard and click yes. And now here, if you remember, we have placed here an apple, and we just replaced it with an dog foot, right? So we can change it again. Let's position it like this. We can Control S, or make sure you're on the .psb, okay? And we have changed it again. So that's the good thing about the smart object. We can add or delete the contents of it. Finally, about the smart object, which is very helpful, is the ability to save the transformation settings. For example, I'm going to add a custom shape here in this document. Let's select one from these preset shapes. This one, let's select that, and now just click and drag in this canvas, and then release. Okay, I'm going to duplicate it. Hold your Alt key and then Shift to make a perfect line, both align. And for the second copy, I'm going to convert it into smart object. Okay, and then I'm going to transform it, Control T, and then in this corner, press your Control key, okay, to distort like this. It's up to you what you want to do with this, but distort it like this. Okay, and the other one is not converted into smart object, Control T, and then press your Control key in your keyboard and then distort this shape. When done, click this check mark or press enter in your keyboard, and let's go back to this one where we converted to smart object, Control T, and you can see we just saved the transformation settings where we left off. Okay, so let's cancel out and let's see this one, Control T, and you can see that the bounding box is still the same, like we didn't change the shape. So it's ideal that when you turn your shape into a smart object, you can save the transformation settings that you did, like this one. Okay, press Control in your keyboard, and then you can or you can right click here and select which one here you like. Okay, maybe let's see the perspective. Maybe you want to edit this part. Okay, you get the idea that turning your element into a smart object will save as well the transformation settings. Okay, so keep in mind in that. Let me delete this. And these are the ideas for the smart object. Another thing we need in creating a mockup template is a selection tools. We can use also these shapes available for quick selection of an image. We can use it as container where we will keep our logo or design. If we distort this smart object shape, our logo inside will distort as well. I will show you later in the hands-on project on how to do this. Let's see the other selection tools that we can use. The first one is the pen tool. Actually, pen tool is very easy. All you have to do is just click and click, and if you want a bezier curve or a curve, just click and drag. Okay, and one more time, click and drag to create a curve. And then I'm gonna close this path, and you will see a circle on my icon, on the pen tool icon. And now we can make it a selection by clicking this one. Feather radius, we can select 1 pixel, and we have it like that. Or if you don't have those selection, this option, I mean, you can go to path, or if not open, you can go to window and click path. Okay, now what you want to do is hold your Control key and then click on this thumbnail. Okay, and it will turn into a selection. Okay, so that's a good thing about pen tool. You can create a complicated selection, and this one here we can get this like rectangular marquee tool, and the other one there. And for the lasso tool, and this group is actually a freehand selection tools you can create using by mouse. And then the other one is polygonal lasso tool. Just click like a pen tool. Well, not a pen tool, but a straight line for this, you know. The other thing here is the magnetic lasso tool. And for example, I'm going to select this apple, and magnetic lasso tool, it detects the sides of an object, okay, the edges, I mean the edges of a shape. So to make an easy selection, we can refine it. As you can see on top, click the refine edges, and you can play with these edges. I mean you can play with these options, as you can see here, available. And the other selection tool, the most common, is the quick selection tool. And there are other options here as well. Actually, it works like a brush. And for this apple, I'm gonna click here and brush on the apple, and automatically I can select the apple. Okay, so that's how it works. And you can subtract some part of it by holding your Alt key in your keyboard to subtract on the selection that you don't want. And you can add as well. Just a brush, just, you know, think of it as a brush tool. And the other one is a magic wand tool, and what it does is actually select all the same color in an image or something related to that. You can select this contiguous, so you will, when you click one, it will select only those really close to that color. Alright, so that's a magic wand tool. And that's it for this selection. To open or create a smart object is actually very simple. You can drop an image on or place an image here. For example, I'm gonna get this image, and I'm going to drop it here on this document, and then click this check mark, and let's see the layers panel, and you can see it's already converted into smart object. Okay, but if we, let's say, open this one, if we drop here on top to make a new window, and if we check the layer, and you can see it's not converted into a smart object. So the other way is actually open as smart object. Okay, and the other one is place embedded, where you will select an image, and then it will automatically convert it into smart object. And let's see, for this one, let's drop it here, and it's not converted. All we have to do is just to turn it into smart object. Make sure it's selected, and then let's right click here, and then you can convert to a smart object. Okay, that's how you convert and open an image to a smart object. So that's all for this video. I hope you learned something, and in the next video we will start making our mockup template. Hi and welcome, my name is Jestoni. In this first video of our hands-on tutorial, we are going to design a mockup for this box. And our plan is to put our logo on this side, and maybe on this side, and hopefully some designs on top here. So before you proceed, I would like you to download the resources files that I'm going to use in this for this class. So first download it, and then extract it or unzip it, and then you will have these files. Okay, so if you have Adobe Illustrator, you can also open this retro logo designs. Oops. This one, and you will have all the logos and brands, different brands. Actually, I created this for the other tutorials here on SkillShare as well, so you can enroll it if you want to learn how to create this basic simple logo designs in Adobe Illustrator. If you don't have it, you can also get a Photoshop file. Don't mind the thumbnail, this icon. All you have to do, just open it in Adobe Photoshop, and you can also follow along with me by getting this file and import it in the document. I will show you later how to do it. And here's the design that I included for the Photoshop users. So let's go back here, this box, open this file. Actually, I just drag it here and then drop to my Adobe Photoshop. Okay, so what we wanted to do here is to add our design here on this side. So there are many ways how to do it, but we'll take one at a time. So let's zoom in and let's get the rectangle tool. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this side with the shape that I'm going to do, holding my space bar in placing my rectangle, and like this. Okay, I'm gonna put a color on it, remove the stroke points or color, and then before I do anything about this, I'm going to convert it into a smart object. Right click and then select the convert to a smart object. Okay, and next, so I can see the box, I'm going to lower down the opacity, maybe 64%, like this. And then I'm going to press Ctrl T to transform this rectangle. Right click and then click on distort. Okay, and now on this side I'm gonna place it here on these corners. You don't have to be perfect, just make sure that you're covering the side of this box, this package box. Okay, and then when done, click this check to commit the transform or press enter. And then on this layer, I'm gonna click this icon on the thumbnail, smart object thumbnail, double click on that, and we will open a new window. As you can see here, the rectangle 1.psb. Okay, so I'm gonna put my design here. First, I'm gonna hide this rectangle. I'm go to my Adobe Illustrator. I'm gonna get this one, and then I'm gonna get this, drag it to my Adobe Photoshop like this, and now it's here. I'm gonna place it maybe in the center. Let's see. Oops. I'm gonna make it a little bigger, scale it up, and when it's done, click this check icon, click this check mark. And there are two ways how we can save this. We can close this or Ctrl S. Okay, I'm gonna press Ctrl S to save this smart object. Let's go back to this box, and it's here. Okay, really cool. Now maybe it's not perfect, it's not aligned, so we can go back here. Maybe we can Ctrl T and then a little rotation, and then save it. Go back to the box and and here we got a nice looking design. Okay, now we can first, let's go back to opacity. Just make it 100%. Okay, now to make it look more believable, we can change the blending mode to multiply, or you can actually play with this. You can cycle through this one and see which one is better in your design. So maybe I'm gonna select this darker color, then maybe lower down the opacity a little bit so it looks fading out. Okay, right, now it looks like we printed our design on this box. Let's do it another one on this side. Let's zoom in, get the rectangle tool again. Let's cover up this side of this box. The bigger the better. Okay, change the make it blue again, remove the stroke color, and then right click on this layer, select the convert to smart object. Let's lower down the opacity to at least half, or maybe 59%. Okay, so next we're going to Control T your keyboard, and to see this bounding box, now we can transform this. We can right click and click on distort. Now let's make these corners will hopefully will hit this sides as well. Also this one, the other one on this side, right there, and then click on this check mark. Now let's double click this smart object icon. Let's hide that color blue. I'm gonna select one here, this one, and let's drop it here. Okay, maybe something like this. It's actually trial and error, so we don't know where this icon will show. This logo will show in our smart object. Okay, so I'm gonna close this, click yes, and it's there. Okay, let's pump up the opacity to 100, and it's looking good. Actually, it's okay with me. And then let's play with this blending options. Let's say this one, darker color. Yeah, looks okay. And we're done with our mockup template for this box. So maybe we can add something here, or maybe in this corner. So let's do it again. Well, actually, maybe I want something different. I'm gonna get this one. Open this home office, also coming from Pixabay. First, I'm gonna close this. Okay, so I want to put something like a logo somewhere here on top. Okay, so I'm gonna do what we did in the last template. Get the rectangle tool, and let's cover up. Let's change it to blue. Let's remove this, and then I'm gonna right click, convert to smart object, and Control T in your keyboard to transform. First, let's lower down the opacity so we can see. Right click and distort. Okay, now it's time to put here on this side. Okay. Try to cover this as much as possible. I'm gonna put it here like this. Okay, then click this to commit that. And now let's pass it. Let's get back to 100%. Double click this icon, smart object, and let's see which one here. Maybe this premium quality. Select this and drop it here. Okay, let's make it smaller. Let's see in the center. I'm not really sure if it's going to the on this side, so maybe let's put it here. It's just a try. Okay, click this check mark, and then let's hide the blue color. Let's close this window and click yes, and it's there. Well, actually it's not that really perfect. I want to turn it on the other side, so let's go back again, click this icon, and for this I'm gonna control key, and while holding my shift key, constrain a perfect shape. Okay, so I'm gonna pose it here, put it here, then click on this mark. Okay, close this window, click yes, like there. We did it. Okay, so that's our logo or whatever design is that. Like a notepad or something, or bond paper, and that's it. Congratulations, you just finished your mockup template here in Adobe Photoshop. So again, if you don't have this any design, you can open this and use it. Okay, just select which one you like here, maybe this one in case you wanted to try it, and see you in the next video. Hi and welcome, my name is Jestoni, and in this video, in the second video of this class, we are going to create a mockup template for a cylindrical form like this mug. Okay, so what we want to do is to put our label on this mug, on this side of this mug. So I want you to open this image so you can follow along with me, and just drop it here in Adobe Photoshop. And if you don't have any label or design, remember I already uploaded some files, and here's the Adobe Illustrator, so you can get some of the file here. And I also saved this as Adobe Photoshop, so you can use some of the file here. Just open in Adobe Photoshop. Okay, so and this the design what we're going to do. I'm going to put here like it's printed in the mug. Okay, so let's start. The same thing, but this time the same thing that we did. We're starting with the shape, but this time we'll do something different. It's like we're going to manipulate the selection. So let's get our rectangle tool, and I'm going to draw a shape on top of this mug. I'm gonna change the color to something blue. Remove the stroke color. And then before I do anything here, I'm going to convert it into a smart object. Right click and then select the convert to smart object. Now you will see some icon here on the document, on the layer. It's like a document icon. And then let's lower down the opacity so we can see. Now Control T to show the transform tool, transform box here in this node. We can actually click this warp, or we can right click and then click on warp. Okay, so what we want to do is to warp this shape into like a mug here. So it should be a cylindrical. It looks like a cylindrical, so I'm gonna start here on this corner, also on this one, and then drag it here. You don't have to be perfect if this is your first time to do it. This one is actually a little tricky because our mug is a little it's not straight actually, so this takes time. So what you do in the left side, you should do on the right side. Should be something like, you know, this will be our guide. As you can see here, this will be our guide on top of it. So we're going to follow along with this line of our warp. So it looks like you know, going around of this mug. Okay, let's say we're done with that. So I'm gonna click on this check mark and then double click on this icon, and then I'm gonna get a design from this. So let's say I'm going to use this mountain. I'm going to drag it here in Adobe Photoshop. Okay, so I'm gonna make it a little scale it down like this, then center it, and then click on this check mark. Make sure you're in the window of .psb. Okay, then I'm gonna remove this blue color. Let's change the color. Double click on this layer, click on color overlay, and then not too white, so maybe this color is the hex code is D3D3D3. Click OK, click OK, and then let's close this window on this tab. Click yes, and that's our design. And it's not really perfect at all, but that's a good thing about Smart Object. We can edit this design. So I'm gonna Control T, and then I'm gonna click on this icon on top, and here you can see we preserve our transform settings. So now we can edit again. So basically this is the just basic idea. Okay, let's say we're done with that. So we can pump up the opacity again, but I doubt it's better if we stay it in 80% or maybe at least 50%. Okay, so it seems we need to, you know, add some since it's fading away from us, it's going around. We need to delete some part of this corner, or we can hide using a layer, add layer mask. Okay, I'm gonna click on it here, and then here on my my foreground color, it's actually gray, which is I want in a gray color, because if it's black it will hide. I'm gonna get my brush tool. So when I brush it here, you see it's it's hiding. You know, it's we're kinda deleting it, but actually we're only hiding it. We can click on switch to make sure your foreground is white. Now we can get it back again, you know. So what we want is just not black, but little gray. Alright, now make sure your opacity is not more than 100, but maybe that's like 60%, 60 plus, and then just brush on the side. Okay, and we're done. That's actually that's how you add the your label in a cylindrical form. But you can change the opacity or add, and in case you want to edit the transform if you want to edit this label, you can actually, you have to unlink this first, because if you don't, if I press my Control T, you know, it won't allow me. It says please unlink the layer mask and try again. So I have to click this chain icon. Now I can press my Control T to transform and then click on this icon. Okay, now I can edit it again in case I'm not satisfied with my design. Okay, now click this in the middle of this again to link. Okay, I can also do the same thing with the glass or in the bottle. Oops, not in Adobe. Okay, let me do it again. You can actually do it on a bottle like this. So the same thing. Or if you don't want to, you know, just drop your logo here, and I guess you'll be fine. If you're not planning to look like it's wrapping around in a bottle, you can just put it here. But for me, it's better if you make some adjustment to it. Let's see the other blending options here. This one looks fine, yeah. But for me, it's better if you try to wrap around your design into a cylindrical form. So because it's perspective, it's a basic idea. So that's all for this video, and in the next video you are going to learn how to change a clothes of a person in an image, and also add your design or label to that t-shirt mockup template. Okay, so I hope you learned something in this video, and see you next time. Hi and welcome in the last video of this class. My name is Jestoni, and in this video we are going to create a t-shirt mockup from scratch. And this is our example image. I want you to open this image from the resources file that I included for this class. Okay, just drop it here and you will have it here. Okay, so what I want to do here is to select this t-shirt, maybe change the color, and then put my design on this t-shirt. Okay, so if you don't want this t-shirt, maybe you can take a picture of your t-shirt, what you are wearing right now, and then follow along with me. Okay, so I'm going to select this t-shirt, and the selection tool that I'm going to use is a pen tool. Pen tool because, as you can see, the image is quite complicated. There are so many sides on it. So the best tool to select this t-shirt is a pen tool. So I'm gonna show you how. Just click on here. This will be my start of my path, make sure you select the path, okay, not the shape. I'm gonna select on this one. I'm gonna zoom in a little. This will take a lot of time, of course, but don't worry, you can take your time. And like I did there, I just pull it, click and pull. And if you want to remove this and start again, just hold your Alt and then click on this point. Here you can start from, it's like you start from scratch again. Okay, I'm gonna click on here, hold my Alt key and then click. And then I'm gonna pause this video because it's really, kinda boring watching me doing this. So see you in the few seconds. I'm gonna pause this video. Hi and welcome. As you can see, I'm almost done. I'm already here, and this is my start of my pen tool, of my path. So just a little seconds, I'm gonna finish this path. It's like tracing it, and you don't have to be perfect if this is your first time. Okay, just as much as possible cover the pixels, and then you'll be fine with it. Make sure that you are covering the t-shirt well, and then I'm gonna close it here like there. And then if you're not satisfied, you can press your control key and then click on this point. Oops, click on this point and then drag it somewhere you like. Okay, just press your control key to change that pen tool into direct selection tool. And when you are done, let's see, zoom out a little. Now in your layers panel, create a new layer, and then let's just cover this with our shape. Like, go with the rectangle tool. I'm going to cover this shirt like this, and let's change the color to blue. And then in our path, we'll have another path here, work path. Okay, if you don't have the paths open, go to window and click there. Okay, and here I want to make this t-shirt into a selection. So I'm gonna hold my control key and then click on here like there. Now I selected the t-shirt from this man. I'm gonna go back to layers, and before I add a layer mask, I'm gonna right click on it, convert to smart object, and then click on a add layer mask like that. And now it's like we cut out those this rectangle. Okay, so next what we want to do is to add our design inside of this t-shirt. So double click this smart object icon. When it opens, let's get a design, or you can use something custom shape tool here. I'm gonna go to Adobe Illustrator and get my design here. Let's see this one. I'm going to drag to Adobe Photoshop, and when it's here in Adobe Photoshop, we can resize it. Maybe that I'm gonna resize it a little, holding my shift key. And then let's try it in the center. Click here, check mark. And then let's maybe let's close this. Click yes. And our design is not in the center, so let's go back again here. Control key. I'm gonna scale it down. Put it somewhere here. And then click yes. Still not in the center. Here. And there, we have centered our design. Next thing that we need to do is click on normal. We need to click on multiply. Like there, we have changed the t-shirt, the color of the t-shirt of this man. So that's actually pretty simple way how you can change the color, add your design on it. It looks like you printed your design on this man. So you can change different colors on it. Just double click again on this icon, and you will have this rectangle 1.psb. Make sure you're on that window. Just change the color to something green, and then close it. Click yes, and we have changed the color. Okay, or maybe we want to change the color of our logo. It's pretty simple. Just double click on this layer, put it aside so we can see it. Click on the color overlay, and it's already in white. So in case you wanted to something gray or maybe white, just click OK. Close this window, click yes, and there, as you can see. And the good thing about here in changing the blend modes is our design looks like we printed on this t-shirt. Okay, so that's basically the simple way on how you can make a mock-up template from any images you have on your hard drive. You can test it. Don't forget to get the resources so you can practice with these images. And that's all for this video, and I hope you learned something, and keep practicing. And if you don't get it, you can go back and watch this video again. So that's all, and see you next time.